Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I was not planning on doing a video today, but I was in the process of doing this tiny stationery project. You cannot call it a project, but it was just basically me trying to take off the pages from some of my unused Hobonichi Techos. So this particular A6 Techo that you see right here is from the year 2020. I had purchased an A6 Hobonichi Avec version, and while I used some of it during the first half of the year of 2020, I did not continue it. So as you can see, I have this really chunky Hobonichi A6 that I started using very casually, more like a scrapbooking kind of a journal, but midway or even before like May, I stopped just using it because it was just getting really overwhelming to keep up with it. So I have like the second half of the year, almost the entire book left, which I have taken some of the pages out of, and I was in the process of completing it when I figured I will show you how I go about taking off the pages of these books, because they're kind of like a standard binding, but there's an easier way to take it off. So I'm just I've just de-paged all of the ones that you see on the left, and I just have a standard scissors. I also have like a X-Acto knife on the side, but I think I don't end up using the X-Acto knife, and I don't have a problem taking off the pages from the back as well, because those are things that I can use either as like a watercoloring book or watercoloring pages. I have this particular Hobonichi Weeks that you're seeing right here that I'm currently doing watercolors on, regardless of whether there is text on the bottom of the page or not. So those end pages that you see on the Hobonichi books, like the Cousin or the A6 or even the Weeks for that matter, I really like using them as part of my Hobonichi watercoloring experiment. So this is just me showing the tools that I have, and we'll just get started. So if you own a Hobonichi Techo, this is probably a good time for you to take out your books and take a more focused glance at how the binding usually is done. Hobonichi uses like a standard string to sew the pages together, and it's not that it's done for every single page. So there are a series of things that they do. They have like a more flexible cover that is glued with kind of a specific glue that makes sure that you convert your end papers and your bindings together. It's there's a specific term for it. I will try to find what it's called, but essentially what you can see when you open your books is that your pages are sewn together with kind of a thread, which is a common way of doing things, but it's also probably a little uncommon in planners. There are not many planners that do this. So what I generally do is I find those sections, those center sections where there are 6 to 8 pages that are sewn together with a thread. And you can try to figure this out when you start looking at the books and when you start observing the binding. So what I'm trying to show here is you can see the 3 to 4 strings that are actually sewing those pages together. And what I do is I kind of loosen up that string with my nails to begin with, just so that I can get the scissors in and start making those cuts along those lines. And once I make this, it's much easier for the scissors to go through and have that that small what you may say it, that kind of a thing taken out. So as you can see, it's an easier way for you to probably tear off the page, but having done it this way, the page just kind of just slides off. You just need to do a slight tuck and just pull it, and you can pull off the pages. And this is much easier, in my opinion, than trying to get it done in a way that, you're just completely tearing off the pages. Because Tomoe River Paper, as you know, is pretty sensitive, and trying to tear it will just cause the pages to actually rip apart if you're not careful. So I do this process as through however many center pages that I can find. So this is another one that we just found. I just tried to loosen up those strings with my nails, and then go in with my scissors to cut that string off. And it just helps me to take off the pages a lot more easier. And you do this for the entire book, and you will still end up with some pages that are glued to the cover, well, the binding, rather than having, them connected through some strings. And I don't go in and try to take them off in this video, but if you're a little careful, you can use like an X-Acto knife and a ruler to gently just, take them off of their glue and just start, pulling them off. So now you may be wondering, why am I going through this tedious process of trying to rip the pages off from a perfectly normal book that I can reuse to my heart's content without having to, rip the pages off in the first place. It's just that, I like to collect the pages that I haven't used and use them in like a ring binder, just for, being able to see the kind of things that I have. And it's not just Tomoe River Paper that I have. I do have other books that need to go through this process, because I may have used the book half, like, how I'm trying to do it to this particular book right here. I have this like thing when if I've used a book halfway, and if I've had something written on it and I have let go of the book for whatever reason, I don't feel like writing in that book again for some reason. It's probably just a me thing, but that's just how it is. So that's why I'm trying to, de-page all the pages that I have in these books that I'm not currently using, so that I can collate them and use them separately. And I may not do it for every single book I own. I feel a little bit more for Tomoe River Paper. And I just feel like I don't want to have pages in a book that I have made sure that I'm not going to be using again. So I know for a fact that I'm not going to be using this A6 again, because I have written something in it already. And because of that, I don't want to let go of the pages that are there. I want to be able to use them however I want, and them meaning the pages staying in the book is just not going to help me use it. It's just going to put me away from not using those pages, which is why I'm going through this process of, taking off all of these pages. And I don't have many unused books which have Tomoe River Paper, actually. So I'm okay with doing this. It can get a little tedious, I'm not going to lie. And so that's basically the gist of it. And you can see how easy it is to just pull it off, like gently tuck it and pull it. And I'm just going through and looking at the spine to see if there are other sections that I'm missing. And you can actually make it out when, the book starts getting much thinner and you've taken off some of the pages. You can actually look to see where those middle pages are. So I try to do that on this particular end sections as well. And you can see, how the pages are, again, bound with that sewing mechanism. So that's pretty much it. I think I just continue doing this until I'm able to take off all of the pages that are tied together with this thread binding. And it's just, it's not just something that I do, but it's also a very therapeutic process. What can I say? It's just one of those things that we understand as part of people who like paper and books. So I guess, that's pretty much what I have for you today. I think I just go on to take off some more pages. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to safely take off those pages that are glued to the actual cover. I think using an X-Acto knife and cutting off the binding slowly but surely is probably the best way to go. But if I feel like I'm in a position to share that and not screw up, I think I'll make another video. And that's probably all that I have for you today. So let me know what you think of this method. Do you think it might work for some books that you own? Do you do stationery projects such as this, trying to take off covers and take off, pages from unused books, or would you rather just have it stay in the cover and use it as and when required? Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.